Hey Bales, welcome to my GameMaker Studio room transitions example, available for you on gumroad.com/blessheygaming. I will put an annotation on the screen and I will put the link in the description as well. This is an example I have created because you probably know it already. In the old GameMaker 7, 8 and before that, you had the opportunity to create room transitions using built-in functions. They are gone in GameMaker Studio because of compatibility with other pieces of hardware, like the phones and stuff like that. So you have to do this yourself now, and that's why I've created this small add-in. You can use this engine you can put into a game easily, and then you have room transitions. There's a lot of different kinds you can create. Fade through color, normal fade, slide off. There's different kinds, and you can easily add your own if you have a little knowledge of how things work. It's based off of my the room transitions video I did in my GameMaker platformer tutorial. So you can watch that if you want in-depth knowledge of this. But in this video I will just tell you how you can use this in your own games. So if we close this down, boom, we have in our resource tree out here, I have tried to divide it so it's clear to see what you need and what you do not need. These backgrounds, just test backgrounds, you don't need them in your own project. This script folder with this script you need in your if you want this to work. Pretty important. That's the script you will use when you want to go to a room using a transition. You can see there's this you set the room you want to go to, the transition you want to use. I'll come back to that in a moment. How many steps you want it to happen within, what color you want in case there's a color in the transition, else it will just ignore this pretty much, still write something, and whether it needs to jam or not. And by jamming I mean you cannot press any keys while the transition is there, which you often want because you don't want the player to run around while the screen is still black. The last tree here is optional. You do need to write the first two, but steps will be normally just set to 30, color to black, and jam to true. So if you do not set these things, they will just have these standard values. I'll not come into detail how it works. So this is just an overview. Keep that in mind. This test controller you do not need. This is simply to test. You can see it will simply switch between the two rooms using room transitions. I have a variable going through what transition we are at and so on. So it will simply randomize the transition somewhat. You do need, however, this object transition. This object will be created when you do the room transition, thus making it, making the transition work. It will control it. The object is persistent with a depth above or below everything else. The depth is negative, but so it's laying above everything else. If you want a hot or something like that to be above the transition, then you want it to be above this value, meaning smaller number than this value. There's some code in this. You want that. I have made sure it works pretty good, and there's also a failsafe here in case if you're using surfaces and you minimize the window, then when you maximize again or put up the window again, the surface will be reset, meaning that it will be gone from memory. This will throw an error, but using this code, it will simply skip the transition in case the surfaces are missing, meaning that there'll be no error and you will just start in the room, so making things easier for all of us. To add your own transitions, you do that in Draw GUI. Here you have all the transition codes. You'll see here we use these constants as to refer to as what transition we are using. I'll show you them in a moment. So these are pretty important as well. And then you simply do a check for that constant and the code in here. Again, you can see everything in our in the other video. The rooms are not important, these are just for tests as well, but in this default here you can see I have all the transitions, and these are simply numbers, so it's pretty easy to control which transition you want, and you can easily add your own constants and use those. You can find it on gumroad.com/blessergaming as shown up here, and as I said, you just go in here and you can download it for free. You can, if you want to, choose to donate something, but you can also just take it for free. I gladly take donations because I'm doing this pretty much for free for you, but it's not a must at all. I understand if money is scarce or something and there's no need to pay then at all, but feel free to do so if you want to. It's pretty simple. You press in the amount you want to pay. This time it's 0. You add to bundle, you pay. There's no need to pay because it's free, so you just write in your email and it will be sent to you. You will be on our email list. You can easily unsubscribe from this in the first mail you get, or in any mail you get after that. In the bottom of the email you have an unsubscribe button. But the thing is, by having you on my mailing list for this product, I can easily tell you if there is updates, and then I will normally just write what the update is doing and give you the new file in this message as well. Plus you can always go back here and download it after you have bought it. You will not need to buy it again. So yeah, you can just go here and get it, and then I'll see you next time. Bye!